Welcome to today's land auction via AuctionCast, the most informative method to buy and sell land at auction. I'm your host, Tyler Tissue, and I'm joined by Brian Haugen. Brian, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. Good morning, everyone. I'm Brian Haugen, broker here at LandProz, and I have the honor to be the auction manager here today with our team representing the Concord Land Partnership.
Excellent. Well, I can't wait to hear a little bit more here about this farm from you here today. On my right here, I have Craig Borchert with Ascent Financial. Craig, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself as well?
Thanks, Tyler. Good morning. My name is Craig Borchert. I'm the consulting director at Ascent Financial, and we help farmers and agribusinesses with transition and estate planning and help advise them on transactions.
Well, I can't wait for your financial analysis on this farm as well. So before we get going on this auction, I do want to let everybody know, because we are experiencing blizzard-like conditions up here, if you get disconnected to our live stream, just try a simple refresh of your browser and that should fix the problem. Today, we'll be selling the Concord Land Partnership Farm. This is 82 plus or minus acres located in Dodge County, Minnesota, and has an incredible CPI of 96.6. Before we get going here, I want to do what we call the land market update. And if you're not familiar with that, it's where we bring you both regional and state comps here, so that way you can be up to date as far as what is currently happening in the land market today. And the first one I have is in Tama County, Iowa. This is 73 acres, and it sold for $21,000 per acre. And next we go a little bit further over into Lyon County, Iowa, and that was 80 acres. That sold for $20,000 per acre. And that was a 67 CSR2 at $20,000 per acre. So that's a very, very strong sale right there. Very, very strong sale. Next, we're going to the Show Me State, Montgomery County, Missouri. 68 acres, a 70.1 NCCPI, and it sold for $19,800 per acre as well. So another super strong sale. So it's telling me here regionally, the market is doing incredibly well still, as we're seeing here today. Now we're back over in the state of Minnesota. Brown County, 74 acres, sold for $13,689 per acre. Then we're moving to Sibley County, Minnesota, 160 acres, sold for $13,396 per acre. And these are all very good farms. You can see 93 and 92 CPI, so very, very good grade A farms there. Strong sale prices as well. Next, we've got a direct sale comp right here in Dodge County, Minnesota. This is 46 acres with a 95 CPI, and it sold for $13,500 per acre here. And just a reminder, we're selling this is a 96 CPI farm that we're selling here today. So a very, very good comp here. So very, very good comp. But Brian here, before we get going on this, let's talk about this farm a little bit here that we're going to auction off today. You've got some details about this thing that we can explain here to some of these buyers that are watching today. What can you tell me about this farm?
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. I am excited to talk about this farm today. We have been working on this farm for some time, and the sellers have been very gracious to provide a ton of information about this farm.
Yeah.
The farm has been very, very well cared for. The location of this farm is second to none. We are in Dodge County, and for those of you watching that don't know Dodge County has some of the richest, blackest soils there are. You know, this I used to judge soils in FFA a couple years back. And so we actually did some judging in Dodge County compared to Goodhue County. You know, they touch each other. Mm-hmm. And we would dig test pits in Dodge County, and we'd have to dig and dig and dig, and it'd be sometimes 5-6 feet of black soil.
That's a lot of soil.
Versus 16, 18, 24 inches in Goodhue County. It's incredible down there.
Or a foot and a half where I'm at in Southeast Iowa, right?
Right. So this farm consists of marquee silt loams, redolent silt loams, and I don't know if you looked at the soil map. I'm kind of a geek like this, but the soil map, marquee silt loams are 100 CPI.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
doesn't get better.
No,
0 to 100, that's 100.
And to be honest with you, this is a privilege to me. This is the highest CPI farm that I've ever had the opportunity to represent.
And you've sold a lot of farms.
Yeah. So 90, just about 97 CPI.
Wow. Yeah.
And the other beautiful thing about this farm, Tyler, it's system tiled from one end to the other. It has 4-inch laterals split just right. It has erosion control in place. It has the basins catching the water. It could not be more perfect. There's a 15-inch main carrying this out to the northeast.
Yep.
And it checks the tile box. All those of you online following, you can click into the Documents tab. That tile map is in there. It's also on the web in the book. Take a look at that tile map. It's very impressive, and it's done really well. So
what about what can you tell me about the yields? I know we have some yield history on this farm. What can you tell me about that?
yeah, and normally we have a hard time in our business getting yield information. Thankfully, the sellers have done a real good job of monitoring their farm and taking care of their farm, similarly to what we do in LandProz Farm Management. So they have all the reports on fertilizing, they have all the yield reports, they actually have the crop production history. So what the crop production history is, for those of you who don't know, the APHs are what we call them, actual production history. It's a snapshot in time, normally a 10-year period, where they average the yields out, and that's for crop insurance guarantees, and that's how operators, base what they pay for rent and how good the farm is. Okay.
Yep.
So this one, okay. Now listen to this: 217 bushels per acre on corn is the proven yield. So what's that mean? That's the average.
Yeah, that's a strong number.
So average is average. So can you imagine the good years, what the yields are on this farm? And I know this is true because I look at the soybean yield as well, and it's 8% higher than the county average. And Dodge County is a very, very high average county in the state of Minnesota. This farm is 7% higher than average. 64 bushels on the soybean yields is what this farm has.
Wow.
Off the charts.
Yeah.
So one can expect this thing to outproduce county and be a really strong performer if we manage this farm. We'll get into this a little bit later on the financial part, but if we manage this farm at LandProz, we would have a bonus type situation set up on this thing, and the rents would, I'm almost scared to tell you what they'd be.
Well, Craig's going to be able to tell us here shortly exactly what it would be, so hold off probably on that.
I'll let him deliver that because it's very impactful what these rents.
There's no doubt about that. Well, and so you mentioned location here earlier. What about the grain markets and stuff like that? I mean, if you're an operator, if you're an investor, I mean that stuff's important to know. I mean, if you're close to those things here, what you can get those commodity prices.
Right. So this farm lays just south of West Concord, Minnesota. For those of you who don't know the area well, it's just a couple miles east of State Highway 56, major highway that runs north and south, and it runs down to Highway 14, a brand new 4-lane. And why that's important, Tyler, an ethanol plant, one of the largest in the area, and one of the most competitive bidding ethanol plants is just minutes down the road from this farm.
Yeah.
So, of course, if you're going to grow crops like this, you need to have a good bid, right?
Absolutely.
So, and this farm checks that box. We have ethanol. I mean, strongest bid around. I know a lot of corn goes to that ethanol plants. The other thing we have is we have access to the river markets with this. We have the South Metro river markets, and even the Red Wing is within reach, okay? So that's important. They'll bid up. Another thing that's important, I just love it, there's a rail spur not very far. So we can run up to Randolph, Minnesota. We have access to rail if it's going to go overseas. Next, we also have strong hog and poultry turkey production in the area. Dodge County has been a great county, been very proactive on poultry and hog production. So of course those hogs and those little turkeys, they need to eat, and a lot of this grain from this goes to that. So we check all the boxes for location.
And when you tell me about this farm here, as you're explaining, I don't really see a whole lot that it doesn't check. I mean, you're talking top-end soils. Top-end, it's the highest raised CPR farm you've ever sold.
Correct.
It's got tile. It's got great access. It's got great access to grain markets. Literally, there's not a whole lot that I'm seeing that's missing out of this farm. It is an absolute grade A farm that we are auctioning off here today.
Yeah, like I said, it's just honored. This is going to be a fun sale for us. A lot of great attributes. This farm has also been on, it's called the Advanced Yield System. So that's a local co-op, Ag Partners Co-op. They have this farm has been grid sampled. It was just recently sampled in 2022. The new buyer will have those results. And grid sampling is the way to go. So every 2.5 acres, this farm is gridded. We get an actual number of what the fertility of the farm is, and
are those things in the document tabs?
They are in the document tabs. You can follow along. You can take a look at them. This farm has been meticulously cared for. It has already been spread for 2022. So those of you that
for fertilizer,
it's already been spread. Okay. So we have that in there, and I did a little rundown of it. That bill will have to be paid at closing, just so everybody knows. Say that again. There's fertilizer already spread. It was spread variable rate technology. Okay, so they gridded this out in 2.5 acre increments, and then they spread this farm according to those needs to keep the farm as even as possible. You can't care for a farm any better than that. It's been done. The fertilizer bill is approximately $21,000 and some change. That document is on your documents tabs. Everybody follow along with that. You're ready to go. The MAP has been spread, 175 average pounds per acre. The potash has been spread. I think you did some math.
375.
That's pretty strong number on potash. Sulfur's been put on. So we have MAP, which is our phosphorus source, with some nitrogen in it. We have our potassium that's been spread and our sulfur. So those of you that are going to operate this, you buyers following along, you're ready to go. Okay?
Yep.
The only thing you need to come and do is put nitrogen on for a giant crop. So, and obviously these prices are pretty favorable right now.
Absolutely.
So just the farm is open. Any new buyers on this farm can come in and farm this farm in 2023. Take advantage of the well-fertilized farm. Take advantage of these high prices.
Excellent.
So ready to go. Ready to go.
Well, thank you, Brian, for all that information. Before we get to the live bidding starting, we want to welcome all of our in-person and online bidders and point out a few things to all of our viewers. Make sure you are aware of the documents online about the farm. They are located in the Documents tab. If at any time you'd like to bid by phone, have any technical issues, or have a question, please call the number on your screen. We have our auction manager, Brian Haugen, sitting right next to me, ready to answer your questions and take your bids over the phone. We're going to get this auction started, and we're going to send it to Greg Jensen, our auctioneer, to take this away.
Thank you, guys. We're going to read the terms and the conditions before we start the live auction. The method of sale here today is the bidding will be dollars per deeded acre unless otherwise indicated by the auctioneer. The deeded acres may change because of the survey or other factors, in which case the total sales price will be adjusted to reflect that. Seller reserves the right to accept or reject any or all bids. The auction company and the seller reserve the right to preclude any person from bidding if there is any concern as to the person's credentials or fitness to bid or enter into a contract. The agency, LandProz, and AuctionCast are working representing the seller. The taxes, you will pay the 2023 taxes. The buyer will. The seller has paid everything prior to. Conditions. This sale is subject to all easements, restrictions of record, covenants, and leases. Each bidder is responsible for conducting their own inquiries and due diligence efforts at their own risk concerning the subject property. All property is sold as is, where is, with no warranties. Closing date is on or before March 23rd, 2023. The contract and title immediately upon the conclusion of the auction. The highest bidder will enter into a real estate contract or otherwise purchase agreement provide funds for the earnest money to be deposited with the real estate and the auction company. Seller will provide updated abstract or owner's title policy and will provide clear title at their expense. Sale is not contingent upon buyer's financing. The terms in the possession, $50,000 down today, non-refundable. The balance due at closing on or about March 23rd, 2023. There will be a 2% buyer's premium added to the final bid price, which will give you the total purchase price. The buyer will reimburse for fertilizer application, and Brian had told you what that is. At the closing, any statement made day of auction takes precedence over printed material. All information provided herein was obtained from sources deemed reliable, but neither the auction company nor the seller guarantee its accuracy. With that, we're going to start the auction. This morning we opened up, we had a 7,000 opener, it went to 8, 9, and now we have 10,000. We have a $10,000 bid. Who would give $11,000? 10,000, now $11,000 bid. 10,000, now but 11, now but $11,000. Now I gotta be honest, I think this is probably the highest CPI I've ever sold. I think it is. Yeah, I think it's real close. And I've been doing this for 50 years. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a great farm. Help yourself here today. You're not going to get any better soil anywhere in the state of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, or wherever you go than we are offering here today. If you're looking for a great farm, help yourself. I've got 10,000. Who'd give 11? Got 10,000, now would get $11,000, now would get 10, now 11. 10,000, now $11,000, now would get 11, now but $11,000, now would get 10, 11,000. 11,000, a bit of buy, I'm at $11,000, now would get 10, 11. 10, now 11, now but 11, now would get 11, now but 10,000, now 11,000. 10,000 a bid, now 11. 11. Now how about let's try 10,500. 10,500. At 10,000, now but a $500 now would you give $500 bid for it. 10,000, now would you give 500. At 10,000, now but a $500 now would you give 500. Now I don't know if you guys have looked at that soil or the soil map and the tile map. Absolutely perfect. 10,000, now 500. At 500 now, would you give 500, but a 500, but a $500 bid for it? 10,000 to bid, now 500. At 10,000 now, but a 500 now, would you give 500, but a 500, but a 500, but a 500, but a 500. At 10,005. At 10,000 now, but a 500, 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 but a $500 bid. 10,500. At 10,000 bid, now 500. Hey, but a 500, but a 500, but a 500, but a 500 now, would you give $500 bid for it? 10,500. I got 10,000 now. 500. At 10,000 now, 500 now, would you give 5? Now, a lot of you guys are out. Number 717, the contending bidder, you're out. 372, you're out. Your online bidders, you're out. I got 10,000. Who'd give 500? Help yourself to this beautiful farm at 10,500. At 10,000 now, but a $500 now, would you give $500 bid for it? 10,000 now 5. Hey, but a 500, but a 500, but a 500, but a 500, but a 5. You know, we might just have to have a recess here. We know it's a big deal when you're buying a farm. We got to have plenty of time to think about it. And we're going to give it to you. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to have a little recess, and I'm just going to turn it over to the guys over here to either, or we're going to either have a commercial or we're going to talk about this farm. We're going to turn it right now. There you go, boys.
Welcome back, everybody, to AuctionCast. So just to recap here, we started off at 7,000 to start here, and now we just got another bid. We're at $10,500 an acre right now. So Brian had mentioned earlier here, we were talking about a little bit about leases and about what LandProz would do from a farm management side here. And I've got Craig Borcher here at the Cent Financial, who does some of our financial analysis when it comes to these farms. Craig, what can you tell us about the financial analysis that you've done in particular about this farm?
Sure, Tyler. You know, when I took a look at this farm, you know, looking at the production history, I put together how this would have performed using the LandProz farm management model. So if LandProz was managing this farm for you, you know, how would that work? And they use a flex lease arrangement, you know, and that's based off of a 33% share of the gross production of corn and 40% for beans. So looking at the kind of the historical production here, we'd see rents at about $408 per acre, you know, and that's usually paid with a base rent and with a bonus to get to that total.
Which is an extremely good rent.
Extremely good rent, you know, and as we kind of look at that and how that rent would change over time with how crop prices have been increasing and how land prices have increased over time using fairly conservative assumptions, we think that you'd have a total return annualized, you know, per year over the last 10 years of about 14.5%. So
which is an incredible return.
Return
on anything. I mean, I wish my stocks were doing the same.
Yep. You know, and that's a good point. You know, looking at how land does generally, you know, I have a chart here of how land has performed over the last 50 years. You know, so we see that even in areas where these shaded areas are areas where there's been an economic recession.
Little recession, yeah.
Yep. Land prices have done pretty well. You know, a little bit of a blip here in kind of the post-'80s period, but as we've kind of moved out from that, it's done very well. And the next one I think is the more interesting way to look at it, which is how would $10,000 invested 50 years ago in farmland, how would that perform? You know, how much is that worth today? You know, and that's $202,000.
Yeah, incredible.
You know, it's an incredible return from $10,000.
Well, and that's and we talk about it all the time. You know that they are not making any more land. And you look at your chart right there, and that line has continued to go up. Yeah, we've had some dips, without a doubt. I mean, that's
sure,
just the way
there always are.
That's the way the market works. But we've continued to see that trend going up. And it's just like I tell, you know, from a real estate standpoint, when everybody asks me, it's like, you know, well, what's it going to do? I'm like, I can't tell you what's going to do. All I know is that it's continued to go up, you know, in my entire lifetime.
Yep. Inflation's going to keep pushing things up. Demand continues to grow. Efficiencies keep going up. You look at yields over time.
And we've got high commodity
up.
prices right now as well. You know, so all these correlating factors. And this is all despite, and just like we did in the land news, you know, the land market update, you know, we still are seeing very, very good returns or very good sales out of these farms. Despite, you know, we know we've got higher interest rates right now. We know we've got some, you know, maybe some economic conditions that aren't as good as maybe what they were a year and a half ago, right? But still, these farm sales are still doing incredibly well. Which tells me, you know what, that farmland is still one of the best investments that you can make out there. Even when the things are down, people are still making these great investments.
Well, and well-capitalized operators and investors see the long-term potential. You know, they can buy now. Sure, prices might seem high, interest rates might seem high, but they know that 10 years from now, they're going to look back and know they got a good deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, versus staying out of the market and falling behind.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great stuff there, Craig. Really great information. We're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we're going to get right back to Greg Jensen, our auctioneer.
Ascent Financial is your local expert for farm transition planning. Whether you're transitioning your farm to the next generation, looking for an outside successor, or simply want to retire, families and businesses can choose from our wide range of solutions. If you need help with transition planning, wealth management, or insurance planning, Ascent Financial is here to support you and your legacy.
We are back. When we left you, we had 10,000. Now we've got 10,500. Who would give $11,000 per acre? 11,000. I got 10,500. Would I get $11,000 bid? 11,000. This farm is going to be sold. There's going to be a new owner. So if you want to buy it, you better hit the clicker. 11,000. Hey, but $11,000 now. What do you get? 11,11 now, but 11,000. 10,500 now 11. Hot 10,500 and now $11,000 now. What do you get? $11,000 bid. $11,000 now, but help yourself here. Hot 10,500 now 11. At 11,11 now, but $11,000 now. What do you get? 10,500 now 11,000. At 11 to bid, a buy him, $11,000 now. What do you get? $11,000 bid. 10,500 now 11. At 10,500 and now $11,000 now. What do you get? $11,000 for now, but $11,000. Are you all done? At 10,500 and now 11. At 11,11. There's going to be a new owner when we're done. We are going to sell this farm. 10,500 now 11,000. At $11,000 now. What do you get? 11,11 now, but $11,000 bid for it. 10,500 now 11. At $11,000 now, what do you get? 10,500, 11. At 11,000 to bid to buy him, 11 now, what do you get? 11,11 now, 11 for it now, but a 10,500 now 11. At $11,000 now, what do you get? 11,11 now, but $11,000 bid for it. 11,000 to bid to buy him, $11,000 now, what do you get? I got 10,500 now 11. At 10,500 now 11. Got 11,11 now, but 11 for now. Would you get $11,000 bid? How about 10,750? I got 10,500. Would you get 7.5? 10,500 now 7.5. Would you get 7.5 for it? 10,500 now 750. At 10,500, the bid now 7.5. Got 700 now, but a 50 now, but a $50 bid for it. 700 now, but a 50 now, but a 50 now, but you get 10,750. At 10,750 now, but I got 10,500 now 7.5. At 10,500 now 7.5, but you get 7.5 for it. If you're done, we're done. Oh, we're going to sell her. At 10,500 now 7.5. What do you say? At 10,500 and out 7.5, but you get 7.5. We got a couple of you bidders, contending bidders. You're out. I got 10,500 now 7.5. At 10,500 and out 7.5, but you get 10,500 750. At 10,500 now 7.5. That's 700 now, but a 50 now, but a $50 bid for 10,500 now 750. At 10,500 and out 7.5, but you get 10,500 750. At 10,500 now 7.5. At 700 now, but a 50 now, but a 50 now, but a $50 bid. 10,500 the bid now 7.5. At 10,500 now 700 now, but a 50 now, but a 54 now, but a 750. At 700 now, but a 50 now, but a $50 bid. 10,500 now 7.5. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to have one more recess, and then we're going to be done. So we're going to give you a little bit more time to think about this beautiful farm. We've got 10,500. When we come back, we're going to be asking for 10,750, and we're not going to have any more recesses. We're going to sell it. So I'm going to turn it over to the guys there for a minute, and away we go.
Welcome back to AuctionCast, everybody. So just to recap here, we start off at $7,000 acre. We're now up to 10,500, which is where we were. We've got a little bit of hang up here now at this point here, but this is a very strong sale either way. But Brian, let's talk a little bit more about this farm. This way, the buyers are maybe sitting on the edge who are, kind of debating whether or not to bid a little bit more here. What kind of more information can we give these guys here that will show them here that this is still a grade A farm that they need to be buying today?
Right. Thanks, Tyler. Thanks for the recap too. We're getting to the point of the auction sale now. Seller has confirmed that we're going to have a new owner today, okay? And I'm going to tell you this is going to be our last break that we're going to talk through. So it is now time. So we want to just clear that up. I know there's paddle number 10,002, paddle number 10,005. Of course, we've talked to you. You are out. It's going to be your turn here. It's time to bid. I want to get into the terraces a little bit, the erosion control. Like we said, this farm has been meticulously cared for, top to bottom, for quite a long time. These terraces were put in over 10 years ago. They were put in with the cooperation of the NRCS, okay? So I want to be very clear to the buyers. There are no further restrictions on the terraces, okay? Now these terraces there's a number of terraces in the area just to control erosion. Okay, this one was done right. I have talked extensively with the sellers, and these terraces, in my understanding, could be made farmable. So what that means is they're peaked off right now and they're growing in grass, right? It's nearly 2 acres worth of terraces, somewhere in the 1.5 acre, 2 acre range that we looked at. The sellers had done some work and dug into the past on it and looked forward on this thing. They had said it would make really good sense to level these tops off, okay? And what that means is these could become farmable, okay? You could plant over them, till over them, take the top off, and then make sure there's black dirt, and then they still will control erosion. The tile system will work but it'll make it even more farmable. Now, this farm is very efficient, very farmable the way it is. We've had a number of questions about the terraces, and I think don't let them hold you back, because I think this is a great value right now at this price for what this farm rents for, and some of the other comparisons. Someone's getting a great value today.
Right now, this is a great. We've sold a lot of farms here on Auction Cast, and this is a high CPO farm with pattern tiled, everything you could possibly want. This is a great buy here right now. So if somebody's sitting on the sidelines, they need to be punching. They need to be clicking here and bidding on this thing.
Yeah, this thing will rent extremely well. If one would want to jump in and level those terraces off and pick up, how valuable an acre of land is. Just yesterday, we sold just across the border in Steele County. We sold very, very strong sales.
Well, yeah, then 2 weeks ago, and we had one at $15,000, $50 an acre. So
I would say this is a better farm.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah.
So, folks, this is a value. You should be bidding on this farm, either to operate it or to lease it out. This is one that should be in anyone's portfolio. So it's a value. Those terraces can be taken down. You can pick up acres. So if we're at $11,000 or $12,000 an acre, and you want to spend approximately maybe $30,000, $35,000 to level those off and farm them, you're picking up a couple acres, and you're picking up farmability. You're picking up efficiency, and that's really important to these larger operators.
Over time, they're going to win out of that. For sure.
You're going to win on this thing, and let's be honest. At these numbers, $250 or $500 more per acre over a lifetime or generations, it's not going to mean anything.
No, we all know it. We all think about 10 years ago or 20 years ago when we're all like, man, I wish I'd have bought that then. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of folks say the best time to buy land was yesterday and the next is today.
Yep, and they're 100% right. 100% right. Well, thank you, Brian, for all that information. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get back to our auction again.
What if you had a place of your own where you could enjoy your family, friends, and all of your favorite pastimes? Compeer Financial offers recreational land loans for things like hunting, fishing, camping, or just a weekend getaway with friends and family. You can choose from hunting land loans, lake property loans, and even bear land loans, all tailored to fit your lifestyle. We'll provide long-term, fixed-rate financing that works best for you. It's a commitment we take personally. Together, we champion rural. Together, we are Compeer Financial.
Okay, we're back. We got $10,500. We're not going to have another recess. We're going to sell the farm. So who give $10,600? $10,600. Hey, but a $600 bid. I got $10,500. Now who'd give $6,000? $600 a bid to buy them at a $600 for $10,500 and now $6,000. I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're done, we're done. We're going to sell it. $10,500 and now $6,000. $10,500 and now $6,000. Do I need to remind you one more time? The CPI is 96.6, almost 97. That's almost a perfect farm. Absolutely. Now I know you look at the terraces. You can take those terraces out, be gone. What a beautiful piece of ground. Well drained, well tiled. We've got $10,500. Who'd give $10,600? One more time, because if you're all done, we're going to sell it. $10,500 now. Would you get $600 out of bid? $600 a bid to buy them at a $600. 10-5 and now 600. Thank you, 6 and now 7. Hot 700 out of now. When you get 700 out of bid for it. 10-6 and now 700. Hot 700 now. When you get 7-7 now. When you get 7-7 now. When you get 700 out of bid. What do you say? 700. 700 now. When you get 7-7 now. Now I'm going to sell it. Hot 700 now. When you get 700. I got 10-6 now 700. Hot 700 out of now. When you get 7-7 now. When you get 7-7 now. When you get 7-4. Hot 700. Hot 700 contending bidders. You're out. Hot 10-6 and out 7. It's going to go. Hot 10-6 and out 7. What do you say? Hot 10-6 and out 7. 7 and now 8. Hot 8 now to give 8. Now but an 8. 8 now but an 800. 10-7 and now 8. Hot 800 now to give 8. 8 now but an 800 out of bid for it. Hit that clicker. Hot 10-7 and now 8. Hot 800 now to give 8. 8 now but an 8. 8 now but an 800 now to give 800. 10-7 and now 800 now to get 8. 10-7 and now 8. Hot 800 now to give 8. 8 now but an 8. 8 now. Remember 96.6 CPI. We got 10-7 now 8. Hot 8 now to give 8. 8 now but an 8. 8 now but an 8 now to give 8. 4 now. What do you say? Are you all done? Hot 10-8. Hot 10-7 and now 8 now to give 8. 8 now but an 8 now to give 800. 10,800 to bid to buy him and an 8 now to give 8. 8 now but an 8 4 7 and now 800. 800 now to give 8. 8 now but an 8 8 800 now 9. 8 but a 10 9 now but a 9 but a 9 4 now but a 10 9. 10 8 now 9 now but a 9 9 now but a 9 now but you get 9 4 now but a 9 now but a 9 when you get 9. 10 8 now 9 9 but a 9 9 when you get 9 4 10 9 now $11,000. At $11,000, that's where we should have started. At $11,000 now, we get $11,11 now. $11,000 now, we get $11,000 bid for it. $11,000 now, we get $11,11 now. But help yourself here. At 11, we're winding down. We're going to let her go. $11,000. At $11,000 now, we get $11,11 now. But $11,000 for now, we get $11,000. Pattern tiled. $11,000. At $11,000 now, we get best soil types you can get anywhere in the Midwest. Who'd give $11,000 for it? $11,000 now, we get $11,11. If you're done, we're done. 10-9, now 11. 10-9, 11,000, now 1. 11-1, 1, up at a 1, 1, up at 11-1. At 11,000, now $100, now we get 1, 1, up at a $100 bid for it. 11-1, at 11,000, $100, now we get 1, 1, 1, up at a 1, 1, up at what do you say? 11-1, 11-1, you're going to let it go for $100 or $200 or $500 an acre. You know, you buy a farm for a lifetime, sometimes several generations. Is it going to make a big difference if you pay an extra $500 for this farm, more than you thought? No, it isn't. I got 11,000. Now, who gave 1? 11-1. 11-1. If you want to buy this farm, you go right ahead and buy it. She's a dandy. At 11-1. At 11-1. Now, I'm going to give 1, 1. I'm going to 1, 1. I'm going to 1. If you're done, we're done. 11-1. 11-1. Now, but 11-1. Now, we get 11-1. What do you say? 11-1. I got 11,000. 1. Now 2. At 2, 2. Now, we get 2, 2. Now, but 11-1 to bid. Now 2. At 200. Now, we get 2, 2. Now, we get 2, 2. Now, we get 200 out of bid for it. At $200. Now, we get 2, 2. Now, we get 2, 2. Now, you go anywhere in Minnesota and find a 96.6 CPI for 11-2, and I'll tell you what, I'll eat my pickup truck. 11-1. Now 2. At 11-1 and now 2. Well, maybe I'll try to eat my pickup truck. 11-1, now 2. At 11-1, 11-1, now 2. At 11-1, now 2. At 2, 2, 2. Now we get 2, 2. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, you're bidding on this farm here today. There's going to be some people that are going to go home, and, you know, I got a club called the Wished I Would Club. You're going to say, I wish another $100, $200, $300 an acre. And I should have bought the farm. Can you believe it, Ma? It was a 96.6, and I let it go. I'm telling you, you're going to, it's system tiled. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you can't find anything any better anywhere but right here at this auction today. And you know what's going to happen? There's going to be a new owner. Now, I've got 11-1. Now, would you give 11,200? Don't let a few $100 stand in your way. 11-1, now 2. At 11-1 and now 2, 2. Now we get 2, 2. Now we get 11-1 and 2. At 11-1 and now 2, 2. Now we get 2, 2. Now we get 11-1. Now 2. At 11-1, 2. If you're done, we're done. 11-1 and 2, 2. Now we get 2, 2. Now contending bidder, you're out. 11-1 and now 2. At 11-1 and now, don't stop now. At 11-1 and 2, 2. Now we get 2, 2. Now we get 11-1 and 2. At 11-1, now 2. At 2, 2, 2. Now one more time. What do you say? 11-2. At 11-2. Are you going to be happy tonight? If you don't get it, 11-2. Now 3. At 11-2. Now but a 3, 3. Now but a 3, 3. Now but a $300 bid for it. 11,200. Now 3. At 300 now, would you get 3, 3, now but a 3, 3, now but a $300, now would you get $300 bid? 11-2 and now 3, 11-2 and now 3, 791, you're out. At 11-2 and 3. Out 11-2, now to 3-3, now to 3-3, now to 3-3, now to 3. Out 11-2 and 3, 11-2 and 3. Out 3, what do you say? 11-2 and 3. You guys been good bidders, but I'm telling you, you got 2, 3, now 4. Out 11-3 and now 4. Out 11,300, now to $400 bid for it. 11-3, now to 4-4, now what do you get 4-4, now what do you get $400 bid? Out 11-3 and 4. Out 4-4, now what do you say? 400. Out 400, now what do you get 4-4, now what do you get 4-4, now but 11-3 and 4. Out 11,300 the bid. Now 400. Got 400, now what do you get 4-4, now what do you get 4-4, now but 11-3 and 4. Out 11-3 and 4. I sold one yesterday with a 90 CPI that brought 13,300. Now we got 11-3 and now 4, and there wasn't hardly any tile in it. 11-3, now 4. Got 4-4, now what do you get 4? And this one's completely pattern tiled and a 96.6 CPI. I'm going to tell you, you're going to bid 11-4. At 11-4, you're going to regret not buying this farm. 11-3, now 4. Now, if we were at 16, 17,000, I'd tell you to quit bidding. But we're not. We're only at 11-3. Now, who'd get 11,400? At 11-4, at 11-4. If this thing was in northwestern Iowa, it'd probably bring 30 grand an acre, 25, 30. But it's here, right here in Minnesota, just as good as soil, great tile, help yourself, 11,400. 400, now 5. Hey, but a 5, hot, but a 5, hot, but a 5. I got 11-4, now 5. Hey, but a 5, hot, but a 5, hot, but a. You guys could hit your clicker a little quicker here now. 11-4, now 5. Hey, but a 5, hot, 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 but about 11-4, now 5. I got another auction at 2, and I got to drive a long way. So how about it? Let's speed it up a little. 11-4, now 5. Hey, but a 5, hot, but a 5, hot, but a 5, hot, but a 5 forward. 11-4, now 5. 11,400, now 5. Hey, but a 5. These guys are making me laugh over here. 11-4, now 5. Hey, but a 500, now what do you get 500? Are you going to let it go for $100? I got 11-4, 5. Thank you. Now 600. Hot $600. Now what do you get 500? Now 600. 11-5. Now $600. Hot $600 to bid to buy, but now $600 forward. 11-5 and now 600. Hot 600. What do you say? 11-5 and now 600. Now what do you get 600 forward? You guys should have your finger on that thing just going like this here. Bang, 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 bang. Because we are still really reasonable compared to what's going on around the rest of the world. You guys know that. We know that. Great grain prices. This thing, high CPI, pattern tile, great location. What else do you want? And it's reasonable. I got 11-5. Who get 11-6? Real quick now. 11-5, now 6. At 11-5 and now 6. Now what do you get 600 on a bid? 11-5 and now 600. Are y'all done? 11-5 and 600. At 11-5 and now 600. I'm going to have a mental countdown here pretty soon. 11-5, now 600. At 600, now what do you get 600? Now what do you get 600? I know you want to bid. At 11-5, now 600. Don't quit now. 11-5 and now 600. At 11-5 and now 600. Now what do you get 600 on a bid for it? 11-5 and now 600. What do you say? 11-5, now 600. No more recesses, no more anything. When we're done, it's going to be a new owner. They are going to be the happiest. They are going to be so happy. Absolutely. They're going to say, you realize what I got for 11-5 if you don't bid 11-6? I got the greatest little farm in southern Minnesota for 11-5. Now, would you give 11-6? At 11-5 and now 6, 994, you're out. You've been a good bidder. Don't quit now. 11-5, now 6. At $600 now, when you get $600 forward. At 11-5 and now 600. At 11-5 and now 600 now, when you get 11-5 and 6. Are you all done? If you're done, we're going to sell it. At 11-5 and 600, 11-5, 600. One more time. Are you all done? 11-5, 6. At 600 now, when you get $600 forward, up at 11-5. Now 600. At 11-5 and now 600. At 11-5 and now 600. At 11-5 and 600. One more time. What do you say? 11,005. Now 600 down. When you get 600 out of bid. 11.5 and now 600. I am going to sell it. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys give me a countdown here of 1 minute. When 1 minute's up, it's gone. 11.5, now 600. At $600 now, when you get 600 out of bid. 11.5 and now 600. 600 out of bid to buy him to 600. I'm going to let her go. 11.5 and now 600. At 11.5 and now 600. At 11,500 is the bid. It takes 11.6 to buy it. 11,600 now, when you get 600 out of bid for now, but 11.6. 11.5 now 6. I'm going to let her go. 11.5 and now 600 now, when you get 600 out of work. Must be getting close. Wait, what do we got? 30? 30 seconds and she's gone. 11.5, now 600. Hot 600 out of now. What do you get 600 out of bid? 11.5 and 6. What do you say? 11.5, 6. If you're done, we're done. 11.5 and 6. We must be getting down to 15 seconds. And when he says it's over, I'm going to sell it. 11.5 and now 600. We got 10 seconds. 10. Oh, you better hurry up. 10.5 and now 600. 600 a bid of blam, and now 600. Now, what do you get 600 out of bid? 600 at 11.5 and now 600. 11.5 and 600. Are we all done? Boom, sold it. $11,500. Thank you very much, all the bidders. Thank you, the contending bidders. Thank the winning bidder. Thank our sellers very much for hiring LandProz and AuctionCast to do their auction. I think anybody thinking about selling their farm out there, please get a hold of us. LandProz.com. You can get a hold of Brian. You can get a hold of me. Anybody else, our numbers are on there. Thank you very much. We've got an auction sale this afternoon at 2 o'clock. We're going to have that. That's a piece down by Blooming Prairie. It is a great little 40 acres, high CPI, some tile in that. So if you're looking for a 40 for an investment down in there, please turn on AuctionCast today at 2 o'clock, and we're going to sell you that farm too. So thank you very much on behalf of everybody. I'm going to turn it over to the guys. You can talk about, get them a little recap on what happened here today. And thank you, and we will see you at 2.
Welcome back, everybody, to AuctionCast. So what an incredible sale. That was extremely spirited bidding at the very end. We thought we were done there at 10.5, and it just kept on cranking. $100 by $100, $100. We got all the way up to $11,500 per acre. Now, I'm going to go over here to Craig. And Craig, what did you get from your financial analysis of this farm here at selling at $11,500 per acre?
Sure, Tyler. Looking at $11,500 per acre with the buyer's premium, we've got a total price of about just under $968,000 approximately. And that comes out to $12,049 per tillable acre, which is a pretty good sale.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a very, very good sale. Great numbers right there. So we would like to thank all of our bidders that participated today, and we'd especially like to thank our sellers for trusting us to auction off your property here today as well. Make sure you join us back here at 2 o'clock today. We'll be selling 40 acres in Steele County, Minnesota, the one that Greg mentioned, a great CPI farm here. Come back at 2 o'clock once again. And folks, if you're thinking about buying or selling, keep LandProz at the top of your list. You can connect with our team at landproz.com or the number on your screen at any time. Thanks again for joining us here at LandProz AuctionCast, and have a great rest of your day.
A streamlined way with great team members to serve sellers and buyers.
Sold $20,500.
Live broadcast of an auction that we bring to them.
Sold. Property's choice. You can buy parcel 1, parcel 2, or parcel 3.
$5,000 offered. What do you give me? $5,500 and $5,000 down here. $55 down, $6,000 and $6,000 down here.
You've always heard in the real estate world, location. Well, that also comes into play when you talk farmland.
Increase in value, and its value is only going to increase over time. The numbers I said before are at 6.5%, which is the 50-year average annual appreciation in farmland.
An AuctionCast method with all of these wonderful things brought to the seller and buyer.